This story was told by Mr. Gong, who encountered a terrifying experience that he would never forget. And now, he shares it with us. It began in late 2015 during the festive New Year season. While others prepared to celebrate, Mr. Gong and his girlfriend were planning a trip from Bangkok to Nakhon Ratchasima to attend her family's housewarming ceremony. Traffic during this time was notoriously bad. To avoid long delays, Mr. Gong decided to drive himself using his Toyota sedan. At the time, GPS technology was not as accurate as it is today. He relied on an iPad app called Sijik. It wasn't known for reliability, often sending users down confusing or incorrect routes. But it had a feature that let users choose between the shortest or fastest route. Gong, an adventurous type, chose the shortest route, eager to explore. As he neared the city of Korat, traffic on the main highway became heavily congested. He decided to activate the shortest route mode. The GPS promptly led him off the main road onto a much smaller path that resembled a rural village road. At first, houses still lined the sides, offering some comfort despite the GPS's questionable reliability. Around 6 p.m., dusk began to fall. Gong followed the GPS instructions through a series of turns, navigating through farmland and quiet homes. Then, without warning, the GPS instructed him to make a sharp left turn. The new road was incredibly narrow, barely wider than the car itself. Still, it was paved, so he pressed on. On both sides of this narrow road were dry canals. Some were shallow, but others were deep enough to completely swallow a car. Gong checked the GPS. Only 2 kilometers remained until he reached the main road again. Encouraged by the short distance, he continued forward. The concrete eventually gave way to rough dirt road. Suddenly, the GPS recalculated. The distance jumped from 2 kilometers to 20. Frustrated, Gong realized turning back was not an option. The road was too narrow, the darkness too deep. With no way to reverse safely, he pressed forward. To calm his nerves, he blasted his favorite rock music, but the road became worse, riddled with potholes, almost lunar in surface. The car's front bumper cracked, the first time a wheel plunged into a crater. Gong had to gun the engine just to get the car out. Each hole led to another, and the cabin filled with the thunderous noise of metal slamming earth. Initially, moonlight and starlight offered guidance, but soon the trees grew denser, forming a natural tunnel that blocked all light from the sky. Darkness enveloped them completely, a darkness Gong described as indistinguishable from shutting one's eyes. His girlfriend began to sob, overwhelmed with fear. The repeated impacts from the road had wrecked both bumpers. Turning around wasn't possible. Asking her to get out and guide him in the pitch dark wasn't an option either. He told himself that GPS never leads to dead ends, just difficult paths. If the car broke down, he would turn off all the lights and wait until sunrise. Then he heard it. It wasn't just the bumps. There were distinct thudding noises. Bang, bang against the back of the car. Every time he tried to accelerate out of a pothole, it felt like something was pulling the car from behind. The banging continued. Fear took over. Gong reached for the knife he always carried for self-defense. He gripped it in his right hand, prepared to use it if something or someone approached. His girlfriend, in full panic, told him that if someone appeared in front of them or tried to stop them, he should stab her first. She hugged her cat plushie and whispered, "We must survive, little one." The tension grew unbearable. Gong turned off the music and focused on driving. Finally, in the far distance, he spotted a faint light. It moved, a beam tracing straight toward them. It was a motorbike with a sidecar. Flooded with relief, he flashed his high beams and honked repeatedly. The motorbike stopped, and Gong drove toward it until he hit asphalt. The rider was a sausage vendor. Gong rushed to ask directions. The man casually told him to take a left and keep going straight to reach the main road and a 7-Eleven. Gong turned off the GPS and followed the vendor's directions. Within minutes, he reached a glowing 7-Eleven. His girlfriend jumped out immediately, desperate to be around people and light again. Gong stayed behind to inspect the damage. As expected, the front was a wreck. But when he went to the rear, he froze. In the thick layer of red dust, there were handprints. Multiple, clear handprints. Some on the trunk, others on the back passenger door, even attempts to open the handle. He documented everything with photos. Unable to continue driving, he called his girlfriend's parents to come pick them up. At the crowded housewarming event, relatives suggested the couple find a motel in the city. They chose a cheap drive-in resort to rest for one night. Gong thoroughly inspected the room for cameras. The white walls and clean bathroom gave him a sense of safety. Exhausted, He showered and went straight to bed. His girlfriend stayed up, watching the New Year's Eve countdown. The next morning, she woke him in a panic. On the white wall beneath the mounted TV, 5 long finger streaks had appeared, drawn in the same reddish dust from the car. Terrified, Gong drove back to the same 7-Eleven and whispered into the air, telling whatever followed, "Don't come with us. Stay here. Lots of people. University students too." He later brought his girlfriend to her parents, then called a friend in Trat to ask if he could escape to Ko Chang. They spent a few peaceful days on the island. On the last night, spirits lifted. They bought sparklers and fireworks to celebrate. Gong set his phone to burst mode, capturing the group with colorful lights. After the session, everyone returned to lighting fireworks, except his girlfriend. She stood frozen, staring at the photos. The first 4 images were normal. The 5th, the one taken at the center of the burst, showed an extra person standing in the group. Someone no one recognized. Everyone screamed and ran home. Mr. Gong later shared the photos with his friend, EP, the handprints on the car, the door handle marks, and the stranger in the group photo. The events he faced weren't imagined. They were real. And they would haunt him forever.